Good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to today's session. I'm pleased to have you all here. Today, we'll be exploring the important topic of good laboratory practices, or GLP. My name is Dr. S.K. Singh, and I hold a PhD in this field. In this presentation, we will look at how GLP helps ensure accuracy, traceability, and compliance in laboratory operations. We'll cover the key principles that support reliable and trustworthy lab results. I look forward to sharing insights that can enhance your understanding and application of these practices. Let's get started. Today, I want to introduce you to GLP, which stands for Good Laboratory Practice. It's a comprehensive quality system that governs how laboratory processes are managed. Essentially, it sets the standard for planning, performing, monitoring, recording, reporting, and archiving laboratory studies. The main goal of GLP is to ensure that the data generated from these studies is reliable and reproducible. This means that the results you get are consistent and trustworthy, which is crucial for regulatory purposes and decision-making. Another key aspect is data integrity. GLP ensures that all data remains accurate, complete, and unaltered throughout the study process. This integrity is vital for regulatory acceptance, meaning authorities can confidently review and approve the data. It's important to note that GLP is mandatory for laboratories working with pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, chemicals, food, and biologics. These industries rely heavily on precise, validated data to ensure safety and efficacy. Overall, GLP forms the backbone of quality assurance in laboratory studies, helping us maintain high standards and compliance across various regulated sectors. Let's take a closer look at the key regulatory frameworks that underpin good laboratory practice, or GLP. First, we have the OECD principles of GLP, which serve as an international benchmark for quality and consistency in non-clinical safety studies. These principles help ensure that data generated across different countries can be trusted and accepted worldwide. Next, there's the US FDA's regulation, specifically 21 CFR Part 58. This set of rules provides detailed requirements for conducting GLP studies in the United States, emphasizing compliance and data integrity. We also have the WHO GLP guidelines, which are globally recognized and help harmonize standards, especially in regions where regulatory frameworks are still developing. Then, there are the EU GLP directives, which establish the legal requirements for non-clinical safety testing within European Union member states, ensuring consistency across their member countries. Moving to India, the Schedule L1 and NABL accreditation form the core of their GLP framework. Schedule L1 sets the regulatory requirements, while NABL accreditation ensures that laboratories meet these standards through a rigorous certification process. All these frameworks work together to ensure that the non-clinical safety data we generate is accepted globally. This is crucial for facilitating international drug approvals and ensuring public safety. Essentially, a strong, harmonized regulatory environment underpins the credibility and acceptance of our safety studies worldwide. Ensuring the quality and integrity of laboratory data is fundamental to our work. When data is accurate and reliable, it builds trust in our results and supports sound decision-making. Improving traceability and the reliability of test results means we can track every step of the process and ensure consistency, which is crucial for maintaining high standards. Enhancing regulatory compliance and audit readiness helps us stay prepared for inspections and meet all necessary legal requirements, reducing potential risks. Lastly, providing consistent documentation and control of laboratory processes ensures that everything is well organized and transparent. These objectives of GLP are all interconnected and serve to uphold the integrity and credibility of our laboratory work, reinforcing the overall quality of our scientific research. Let's talk about the key elements that ensure our laboratory operates effectively and in compliance. First, organization and personnel responsibilities are fundamental. Clearly defining roles helps maintain accountability and smooth workflow. Facility design and environmental control are equally critical, as proper layout and conditions protect sample integrity and ensure safety. Standard operating procedures, or SOPs, are our go-to guides for all laboratory operations. They ensure consistency and reliability in every test we perform. Equipment qualification and calibration are vital too. Regularly verifying our instruments guarantees accuracy and trustworthy results. Managing test and reference items carefully helps us keep track of everything and maintain quality throughout the process. Raw data documentation and archiving are the backbone of data integrity. They allow us to trace back and verify results at any time. When it comes to study planning, conduct, and reporting, thoroughness here ensures our findings are credible and reproducible. Our quality assurance program ties all these elements together, providing oversight and continuous improvement. Data integrity, guided by ALCOA Plus principles, emphasizes that data must be attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original, and accurate. The Plus adds aspects like complete, consistent, enduring, and available. All of these principles underpin the integrity of our work. Finally, understanding the key principles of good laboratory practice, or GLP, is essential. They serve as the foundation for ensuring our studies are conducted ethically, reliably, and in compliance with regulatory standards. When we integrate all these aspects, we uphold the highest standards of quality and integrity in our laboratory operations. Let's talk about organization and personnel, which are crucial for ensuring quality and compliance. First, having clearly defined roles and responsibilities helps everyone understand their specific duties, reducing confusion and overlap. Next, maintaining adequate training and keeping proper competency records are essential so that team members are always up to date and capable of performing their tasks effectively. We also need to appoint a dedicated study director and QA unit. The study director is responsible for the overall conduct of the study, while the QA unit oversees quality assurance activities. Importantly, these roles are structured to ensure independence between testing activities and QA oversight, which is vital for maintaining objectivity and integrity. All of these elements, clear roles, proper training, and independent oversight, work together to create a robust and reliable organization that supports our overall quality objectives. Let's talk about the importance of having adequate space, proper segregation, and an efficient workflow in a laboratory setting. Ensuring there's enough room helps prevent overcrowding and reduces the risk of errors. Segregation is crucial because it keeps different processes separate, minimizing cross-contamination. A smooth workflow ensures that samples move logically through preparation, analysis, and disposal, saving time and reducing mistakes. Controlling the environment is equally vital. Maintaining consistent temperature, humidity, and cleanliness helps preserve sample integrity and ensures reliable results. We also need designated areas for specific tasks. For example, a dedicated space for sample preparation helps keep samples uncontaminated. Separate storage for reagents prevents mix-ups and extends their shelf life. Instrumentation should have its own area to prevent clutter and mix-ups. Waste handling must be organized to avoid any cross-contamination or accidental exposure. All these measures work together to prevent cross-contamination and mix-ups, which are critical for maintaining the accuracy and reliability of our results. Ultimately, creating a well-organized and controlled environment supports the overall quality and integrity of our laboratory work. Let's talk about ensuring our equipment and instruments are always reliable and compliant. First, qualification is key. This includes IQ, OQ, and PQ. IQ stands for installation qualification, which verifies that equipment is installed correctly. OQ, or operational qualification, confirms that the equipment operates as intended. And PQ, or performance qualification, makes sure it performs consistently in real-world conditions. Next, calibration at defined intervals is crucial. Regular calibration keeps our measurements accurate and trustworthy. Along with that, routine preventive maintenance helps prevent unexpected breakdowns and extends the lifespan of our equipment. Keeping detailed usage logs, applying calibration stickers, and performing regular performance checks all contribute to traceability and accountability. These practices ensure we can quickly identify and address any issues. Finally, it's essential that we only use validated software and compliant data systems. This guarantees data integrity and supports regulatory compliance, which are foundational to maintaining high standards in our operations. All these measures together form a comprehensive approach to equipment management, ensuring quality, consistency, and compliance throughout our processes. Now, let's talk about the mandatory documentation that is essential for all laboratory activities. This documentation is crucial because it covers every step involved, from sample handling and testing to the use of equipment and safety protocols. Having clear and comprehensive records helps us maintain high standards across the board. These documents are controlled, which means they are managed with version control to ensure everyone is working with the most up-to-date information. This control is vital because it helps us maintain consistency, repeatability, and most importantly, compliance with regulatory requirements. One key aspect of this documentation is the use of Standard Operating Procedures, or SOPs. SOPs are detailed instructions that guide us through each process, ensuring that every task is performed correctly and uniformly. This not only helps in maintaining quality, but also in training new team members effectively. Overall, thorough and controlled documentation is the backbone of a reliable and compliant laboratory. It connects all the processes seamlessly, supporting our goal of delivering consistent, high-quality results every time. Let's now discuss some essential practices for managing samples and reagents effectively. First, having a proper receipt process, along with clear identification and traceability, is crucial. This means every sample or reagent should be accurately documented when received, labeled properly, and tracked throughout its life cycle. It helps us maintain integrity and accountability. Next, storage under controlled conditions is vital to preserve the quality of our materials. This involves maintaining appropriate temperatures, humidity, and security measures to prevent degradation or contamination. Stability monitoring is another key point. Regular checks ensure that our samples and reagents remain effective over time, alerting us to any potential issues before they impact our results. We also need quarantine and disposal systems. Quarantine allows us to isolate new or suspect materials until we confirm their quality, while proper disposal methods ensure we safely and responsibly eliminate materials that are no longer usable or are contaminated. Maintaining a documented chain of custody ties all these practices together. This documentation provides a transparent record of who handled the materials, when, and under what conditions, which is critical for compliance and traceability. Finally, sample and reagent management involves systematic organization, tracking, and handling to ensure everything is available when needed and remains in optimal condition. When we integrate all these elements, we strengthen the reliability and integrity of our laboratory processes, aligning with our overall goal of ensuring high-quality, trustworthy results. Let's start by emphasizing the importance of having a detailed study plan that is approved by the study director. This plan serves as the roadmap for the entire study, ensuring everyone is aligned and clear on the objectives and procedures. Next, it's crucial that we use qualified test methods, which means they should be either validated or verified to guarantee accuracy and reliability. Real-time documentation of raw data is another key point. Capturing data as the study progresses helps maintain integrity and allows for thorough review later. Any deviations from the approved plan must be justified and recorded. This transparency is vital for ensuring the credibility of the study results. We also rely on the use of reference standards and controls. These serve as benchmarks to confirm that our methods are working correctly and that our results are consistent. Finally, all these elements come together during the conduct of the study or testing. Following these principles ensures the study is scientifically sound, compliant, and provides trustworthy data that supports our overall objectives. Let's take a closer look at the core principles of data integrity, often summarized by the ALCOA+ acronym. These principles are attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original, and accurate. They form the foundation for ensuring data is trustworthy and reliable. Attributable means that every piece of data should clearly be linked to the person responsible for creating or modifying it. Legible ensures that data is readable and understandable, which is essential for audits and reviews. Contemporaneous refers to recording data at the time the activity occurs, capturing it accurately and promptly. Original indicates that we keep the initial record, the first documentation of the data, not just copies. And accurate underscores the importance of data being correct and free from errors. Plus, there are additional principles to keep in mind. Complete, meaning all necessary data is included. Consistent, ensuring data remains the same over time and across systems. Enduring, so the data is preserved securely over the long term. And available, which guarantees that data can be accessed when needed. It's important to remember that these principles apply universally, whether we're dealing with electronic or paper-based data. In fact, they are backed by regulatory frameworks such as 21 CFR Part 11 and Annex 11, which set the standards for electronic records and signatures. In essence, data integrity isn't just about avoiding errors. It's about maintaining trustworthiness and compliance in every piece of data we handle, aligning with the ALCOA+ principles to uphold the highest standards in our processes. Now, let's take a closer look at the role of the independent review of study activities. This is a critical part of our quality assurance process. It involves conducting thorough facility inspections and process audits to ensure everything is running smoothly and according to protocol. These inspections help us identify any potential issues early on and maintain high standards throughout the study. Additionally, the QA unit verifies raw data, reports, and the integrity of all documentation. This step is vital because accurate and reliable data is the backbone of compliant and credible studies. We need to ensure that everything is properly documented and that the data hasn't been altered or compromised. Furthermore, the QA team makes sure that all activities are compliant with good laboratory practice principles. Adhering to GLP is essential for ensuring the quality, reliability, and regulatory acceptance of our study results. Overall, the QA unit acts as an independent checkpoint, providing an objective review that supports the integrity and validity of our research. This process ultimately helps us uphold the highest standards in our studies and ensures the trustworthiness of our findings. When it comes to documentation and archiving, proper recording of raw data, logs, results, and reports is absolutely essential. This means making sure we accurately capture and store all the critical information generated during our processes. Controlled access to archives is equally important. We need to ensure that only authorized personnel can view or modify these records to maintain their integrity. Setting defined retention periods helps us determine how long we keep this information, balancing compliance with storage management. Most importantly, thorough documentation and archiving enable us to ensure traceability. Whether during audits or investigations, having well-organized records allows us to quickly track back through the history of data and decisions. Overall, these practices form a backbone of quality assurance and compliance, ensuring transparency, accountability, and confidence in our operations. Let's take a closer look at some of the common GLP noncompliance issues that can really impact the integrity of our data. First, poor documentation practices are a big concern, because if it's not documented properly, it's almost as if the activity never happened. Clear, thorough, and accurate records are essential. Next, equipment that is not calibrated or undermaintained can lead to inconsistent results, which undermines the reliability of our experiments. Incomplete or uncontrolled SOPs, or standard operating procedures, also pose a risk because they can result in inconsistent procedures and data collection. Data manipulation or backdating is a serious violation. it's critical to maintain data integrity at all times. Inadequate quality assurance oversight can allow issues to go unnoticed, so robust QA processes are essential for compliance. And finally, mismanagement of samples and reagents can compromise the entire study, leading to questionable results. All of these issues highlight the importance of strict adherence to GLP standards. By understanding and avoiding these pitfalls, we can ensure our data remains credible and compliant with regulatory expectations. Let's talk about some of the key benefits of implementing GLP. First, it ensures reliable and reproducible results. This means that our experiments and tests can be consistently repeated with the same outcomes, which is crucial for building trust in our data. Next, GLP helps to strengthen regulatory compliance. By following these standards, we make sure our processes meet the necessary legal requirements, reducing the risk of violations and penalties. It also enhances our credibility with clients and regulators. When we adhere to recognized standards, it demonstrates our commitment to quality and integrity, which builds confidence in our work. Another important benefit is improved audit readiness. With proper documentation and standardized procedures, audits become smoother and less stressful, saving us time and resources. GLP also leads to a reduction in errors, deviations, and the need for repetitive work. Better process control and documentation help us catch issues early and prevent mistakes from recurring. Finally, it results in better data management and integrity. When data is accurate, well-organized, and protected, it supports sound scientific conclusions and regulatory decisions. Overall, implementing GLP isn't just about compliance. It's about enhancing the quality and trustworthiness of our work across the board. Let's take a moment to review our key points for ensuring our laboratory is fully compliant and audit-ready. First, all equipment is calibrated and properly documented, which is essential for maintaining accuracy and traceability in our results. Next, our training records are up to date, demonstrating that our team is knowledgeable and following the latest procedures. It's also critical that our SOPs are current and consistently followed, providing a clear framework for our work. We make sure that all raw data is complete and traceable, so we can confidently verify every step of our processes. Monitoring environmental conditions is another vital aspect, as it helps us maintain optimal lab conditions and prevent contamination or deviations. Additionally, our QA activities are well documented, showing that we regularly review and uphold quality standards. Our archive system is organized, ensuring easy retrieval of records when needed. Lastly, we review the GLP audit readiness checklist regularly to confirm that all aspects of our operations meet regulatory expectations. Altogether, these practices form a comprehensive approach to quality and compliance, which is at the heart of our overall success and integrity in scientific work. GLP, or Good Laboratory Practice, forms the backbone of our laboratory operations. It's what ensures that our work is accurate, traceable, and reliable every step of the way. When we follow GLP standards, we're not just doing things by chance, we're maintaining scientific credibility that others can trust. It also builds confidence with regulatory authorities, showing that our data meets strict standards. Most importantly, GLP helps us uphold robust data integrity, which is essential for the validity of all our testing activities. So, in essence, GLP ties everything together, supporting our commitment to quality and excellence throughout the entire testing process. For further support, please feel free to contact us. We're here to help with any questions or additional assistance you might need after this presentation. Thank you very much for your time and attention today. We appreciate your engagement and look forward to supporting you moving forward.